Regular viewers on the show and readers of Wanted magazine have often wondered why I've not been in the best dressed category. Okay, well then you need to get a new hobby, I suspect. But in 2014, Rich Mnisi was crowned the AFI Young Designer of the Year. 2 weeks ago, Laduma Ngxokolo won the inaugural Vogue Scouting for Africa prize. This is Tonight. I'm Bruce Whitfield. I don't dress particularly well relative to these guys, but I want to look at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. It's an absolutely pivotal showcase for South African talent. We need to know how important these showcases are, if they actually turn into currency. Joining me to answer these questions, Rich Mnisi, the owner and designer for the label OATH and Laduma Ngxokolo. I'll get it right, Laduma. Perfect. There we go, I'll get it right. And he is the textile designer of MaXhosa by Laduma. These are two South African designers. You're going big globally, Laduma. You go to international fashion shows, you showcase work like that fantastic jumper just there.
Yeah.
Okay, and tell me about the experiences.
The experience is amazing. I'm learning a lot of things, not only about selling and also about the market needs, and also about quality as well, which plays an essential role of getting your product to be out there.
Okay, now tell me about the origins of your design career then. How did you start out? Because South Africa, forgive me, isn't regarded as a hotbed of design. Italy, yes. Paris, yes, these are the centers of design excellence. In South Africa, we feel as if we're learning the ropes. How did you get started?
I started actually making jerseys when I was age 16. My late mother taught me how to machine it. And then I became more enthusiastic, decided to do textile design in high school, and graduated in 2010 in a textile design and technology program at the Nelson Mandela University. And then I established a project thesis there, which I worked on finding solutions for MaXhosa initiates in the Eastern Cape. I wanted to find to create knitwear that has traditional MaXhosa aesthetics, so that to give options to MaXhosa initiates to purchase that, because I felt that the products that were out there on the market were slightly more Western. So I wanted something more traditional that they could wear for the ritual.
And then do you find that these locally inspired designs then, we're all familiar globally, the Ndebele designs, for example, are globally recognized. Oh, that's Africa. But Africa is a tapestry of multiple designs and multiple influences. Do you get global acceptance for sort of Xhosa inspiration?
I get global acceptance, and it has been more overwhelming than I expected, actually. I think it's because I take the motifs and patterns from the traditional Xhosa beadwork and translate them into a modern aesthetic, which I want to appeal to people who love fashion and also love modern type of look. So for me, I try to remove it from the traditional sort of look and try to make it, to position it the same range as other knitwear design brands around the world.
Rich Mnisi, how did you get started out?
I studied fashion design at LASA for 3 years, then I graduated last year. And then I entered a competition called AFI Fast Track. It's under Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. And I ended up being one of the 4 finalists who went to the next round, where we had to do an internship for 3 months and design a collection for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Africa. And then at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Africa, I got named Young Designer of the Year.
Is that one of yours?
No.
It's not one of yours. You should wear your own stuff. Come on, Rich. It's very Bill Cosby. You wouldn't necessarily remember the Bill Cosby show, but Bill Cosby was famous for his jerseys, his jumpers. But the concept of having a Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, having the sponsorships, having these showcases where you can put your wares up for grabs, they've got to be pivotal in the life of any young designer, surely.
Yeah, definitely. For me, especially because I'm out, like straight out of varsity, it was a good launch pad, and also it just certified like my existence in the fashion industry, and it made me like a credible designer, as opposed to me just popping up from nowhere. And
because everybody needs a route to market. I mean, Truworths has been amazing with Young Designers Emporium, for example. It started out as independent. Truworths bought it. Young Designers Emporium has created a shop front for many young designers who don't have the factories and the scale. What is your route to market?
My route to market is I position my product as a premium brand, and I target boutiques to distribute my
What kind of boutiques? Where are these boutiques? Where are they hidden?
One is in Cape Town, in Long Street. I think it's the most beautiful African boutique in the continent. It offers a lot of products that are from Africa, that are strictly made in Africa. And also, I stocked a Keleti here in Johannesburg, and in Port Elizabeth, my sister, who's a fashion designer, sells.
So it runs in the blood, eh? Yeah, fashion design runs in the blood. But certainly, so you've got South African distribution. Is there interest for this kind of design elsewhere in the world? Have you sort of got Harrods knocking on your door and saying, we'd have 500 of these, please, for next winter?
There's great interest coming from Amsterdam. My sister and I traveled to Amsterdam last year to attend a conference. I had to speak at the conference the day after Paul Smith spoke at the conference.
So Paul was your warm-up act?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And my sister and I decided to bring about 50 pieces, and I sold all of them 2 days after I spoke at the conference, and people kept on wanting more. So we've been sending down products to Amsterdam in Holland, and that has spread it out to Germany. I did a couple of trade shows in Germany, in Berlin, and a lot of people interested in purchasing the product, and there has been private retailers that approach me to stock.
Because that's important, isn't it? Because you can sit there, I mean, Rich, and you can go to a design show, and all fabulous people at design shows, and everybody's fabulous, and everybody calls each other by their first names, and everyone knows when you talk about Ralph, you mean Ralph Lauren. If you're talking about Rich, you know it's about Mnisi, for example. But it's about getting commercial acceptance, because it's all well and good to be artistic, but if you're artistic and hungry, it's not much fun. How do you commercialize a South African originated design in the way that Laduma seems to be capitalizing on?
I've only been in the industry for 10 months now, so I'm still just like finding my way and like just learning a lot. I've even spoken to Laduma, and he was just telling me how everything works, and just buyers, and like how I did design in Daba, and it was so great being in front of the consumer, because now it was like my first official interaction with the consumer, whereas before it was just Fashion Week and media.
No, but that's it. But it's a reality, isn't it? And Ravi Naidu has pulled together the most extraordinary thing at Design in Daba. I mean, tens of thousands of people go through those doors over a 5 or 6 day period, and you get to meet your customer.
Yeah.
And response?
It was great. They loved the product, and it was interesting to hear what fabrics they liked better, or the price range and stuff like that. I was told that my clothing is too cheap for its price, and like whereas I thought it was too steep, so it was really interesting.
But there's so much to learn, don't we? I mean, the South Africans here, I mean, we've got so much to learn in terms of the value of what we create. When people will happily go and spend 20,000 Rand or thereabouts on a Paul Smith suit, but this one, which is constructed in Cape Town, for example, I think it's just as good. I think it's just as good. You know, what is the value of that relative to Paul Smith? What makes Paul Smith more valuable? It's the brand Paul Smith, and he's got a sexier lining, perhaps. But that's his ID. How do we get that inculcated into South African design and our design culture?
I think firstly it's about product. Quality is the most essential aspect of product, and also understanding material as well. I use South African wool and mohair, which I source from Port Elizabeth, and people appreciate that I'm offering them a product which is made out of premium quality, because it will last them for more than 10 years when they purchase it, and there will be classic pieces as well that they will be able to wear when they're old aged as well. And
when they're 10 years older, they'll be old aged. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And also positioning of the product as well is essential. Designers or crafters have to position their products in shops where they would like to see it. They can't randomly throw them in curio stores and expect to be perceived as a premium or a high-end brand. So I think South Africans need communication as well.
But are we mentoring? Are we mentoring guys? I mean, like Rich over here, he's been in the industry for less than a year. He's enthusiastic. He's out there. He's cutting. He's slicing. He's dicing. He's stitching, and he's creating new work. But without sort of a helping hand, like you've been giving him tips today, without a helping hand, guys like him will end up, you know, they could do so much more.
Yeah. I think mentorship is essential as well. I've met up with people that gave me advice, not only from the fashion industry background, also from marketing, and also from production, because it is not easy to outsource production from South Africa, because most of the manufacturers are consumed by mass market chains, and so there's
the way mass market chains made Giorgio Armani very rich. Who's the world's best designer? Hey, Rich, who's your favorite?
That's really unfair. That's really...
Who's your favorite?
My favorite?
Is it somebody we've ever heard of?
Yeah, probably. Alexander Wang is really brilliant, and Acne.
Yeah,
Acne
you
is
see,
a
you make
great
big
brand.
assumptions of me. I haven't a clue what you're talking
Really?
about. Yeah, because the world of fashion is very different from the real world. But these are. Would you like to see your designs commercialized, or would you sort of see yourself as a niche designer into the future? Well, we would look at Mnisi products in the future and go, oh, thank goodness he didn't ever sell out and go and supply Edgar's.
I don't know. I'd prefer being a niche, and I've realized that the world is really big, so if I have a niche all around the world, it's enough. You know what I mean?
How ambitious is he? Eh? I mean, this is the school of hard knocks, isn't it, Laduma?
Yeah, no, because honestly, I don't fancy being like a Mr. Price or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but just for my aesthetic and for my work, I wouldn't want to compromise anything I do, or the fabrication I use or anything.
Well, you learned some hard lessons, because I mean, if Edgar's came to you and said, I'd like a line, please, you'd bake it, wouldn't you, Laduma?
I think you could come up with a strategic way to do it. It doesn't have to be your whole line. It could be a line of just scarves or
And
just
also-
socks.
And also you could like speak your way into just like making sure that your point is heard and comes across, instead of just...
The world of design is a mysterious place, as you can tell. Laduma Ngxokolo is the fashion designer, textile designer of MaXhosa by Laduma, and Rich Mnisi is the owner and designer of a label OATH. He's been in the market for less than 10 months, but has got massive ambitions to go niche globally. Thank you for watching. I'm sure these guys will be at another fashion week tomorrow. For now, thank you for watching, and if you've got any fashion tips, any ideas, do tweet us, send us an SMS, or you can most certainly send us an email on CNBC Africa. That's it for tonight. Good night.